back in the gym. Campbell Fitness. Now, I know I've been doing that a lot in these workout videos, but I can't help it. That is probably one of my favorite intros ever for some reason. It's just fun to say. You guys definitely have to give that a chance. But anyways, it's Brandon. I'm back. Here is my chest day for the cube. It is a rep day, which by the name implies means I am doing more reps than, let's say, a heavy day. Starting off here with incline barbell bench press. You may or may not have noticed that weird blue stuff on my arms. That is actually Mark Bell's slingshot. A lot of people use this to add weight, add reps. I use it because I want to help with my form, meaning I want to focus on keeping my elbows in. And it's not doing a very good job of doing that right now. And this is only my second time using it, so one of the things I've been experimenting with is where to put it. And you can see right here, I have it more on my elbows, where before it was just really covering my biceps and triceps. Now in this position, as you can tell by my form, I'm able to tuck my elbows a lot better. One of the other things I'm really trying to work on here is bringing the bar to a low point, and then when I explode up, also flare my elbows back out and push the bar back a little bit too. So the bar actually isn't moving in a straight up and down line. It's actually moving up and back in this case. Again, really trying to emulate that form. So that's really why I picked up one of these slingshots. Again, as I mentioned, it's my second time using it, but I really like it. And my goal here is to really reteach myself some of this stuff. Now, you probably saw on my deadlift video, and if you didn't see it, then why the hell are you not watching my deadlift videos that I just uploaded before this? But I make a lot of mention of saying I just can't seem to get my form down how I want it. And I really attribute that to a lot of this being I've been doing these patterns so long that my body is just used to it, and trying to institute new patterns is very tough. Anyways, getting back to the workout video, what you see here is after that incline barbell bench press, I moved on to flat barbell bench, still using the slingshot, still trying to tuck my elbows, but I'm also using these safety racks, and what I'm using them as is a way to come down and actually take all the tension off my chest, pause for a second or two, and then put all that tension back on and explode up with the weights. This was very, very tough, but it felt good. And that's one of the things I like about this stuff. Yes, I know I'm reteaching myself form. I'm going to have to drop the weight somewhat significantly for what I'm used to. But that just really motivates me because it shows me that there's a lot of room for me to get better and improve on this. I also think that this will really help carry over into competition style bench, where you're forced to actually pause the bar on yourself and waiting for the lift command. So if you haven't tried something like this before, or just competition bench in general, you don't have to put the safety racks there, although if you lift by yourself like I do, they're obviously a great help. This makes bench pressing so much harder. So nowadays when people ask how much I bench, I tell them different answers depending on if they just talk about in the gym or we're talking about competition. Because in the gym, as most of you probably see, a lot of people just come down and explode right up, and that makes everything a lot easier. So here I'm just showing you different angles. I did a couple of sets of this. I think I did 3 sets of this after the incline barbell bench press, and I think I did somewhere between 8 to 10 reps, to be honest. I don't remember, and I'm not really counting right now. If you guys want to count, that's fine. I'd probably say I did 8, but I might have done 10. But you know me, I'm kind of always busting my own chops here, so I'm just going to assume I did 8, and I should have done 10 because I'm a big vagina, but that's another story. So after we finished off with that, I figured I already had everything set up and I wanted to work on some triceps, so why not do some close grip bench pressing? Now on here, again, the weight isn't anything to write home about. We're only using 135. Started with 15 reps here. I just wasn't sure how I was feeling after all the stuff I've already done. Typically on this, I actually like to do close grip bench press a lot of times in the Smith machine, and I know a lot of people shun the Smith machine, but I find it's really beneficial for some exercises, close grip bench press being one of them. One of the exercises I would never recommend you do, however, is tossing curls. I think that's what it's called. If you guys follow Jim Stepani at all, take a look at his curls in the Smith machine. It is amazing. It'll take your breath away, and I don't recommend ever doing that or the reasoning behind it, but I don't know why, that just comes to mind. So for these next sets, what I ended up doing is I actually widened my grip just a little bit. I thought my first set, my grip was a little bit too narrow. I also added 20 pounds here on the second set. On the third set, I just added 5 pounds, those clips you see. Again, the day here is really about getting reps, and I was going for sets of 15. While the first one is extremely easy, and even this one looks really easy, I'm not used to working in a lot of these higher rep ranges, so I get tired pretty quickly, and my arms feel a little bit like jelly, which a lot of us like, but for me, using weights like this and not being able to really do all of them proficiently, it's a little bit screwing with my mind. But again, that's okay. I understand that it's going to take time to get this stuff down. I then moved on to some Pec Deck. The routine itself suggested that you could do some dumbbell flies, and the nice thing about this routine is you can literally do pretty much anything you want to do. But I've never really had it with dumbbell flies where I felt really good chest activation. I've tried, different ways of bending my elbows, different points of coming down, and just I find this Pec Deck or this chest machine fly does wonders for me. Also, cables are really good. I like those too, but the dumbbells and free weights for these fly movements just don't really do it for me. So I did a couple of sets of this. This is in one of the other rooms of the gym. I don't normally film in this side of the gym. Typically I just film where the power racks are because there's no one really ever in there except myself. In this case, you had a lot of people looking at me setting up the camera, but that is okay. Not really too embarrassed by it. Just, again, doing some work here, trying to get that chest work done. So I'm sorry for that awkward pause, but I was hoping that was the last set so I could have something new to talk about. But it looks like I did another set. So 3 sets of this. I believe I was doing it for 12 reps. Each actual set I increased the weight a little bit. This wasn't overly stressful, even though my face might say otherwise. Look, that looks like I need to take a really big dump. Trying to push it out, and I say, oh crap, you know what? The camera's on. Let me try to make a normal face. All right. A little bit more normal. No one ever said I was pretty looking. But again, these chest flies were good. Really trying to squeeze at the top there and hold it just a little bit. It might not look like I'm holding it, but I'm trying to. I then moved on to this, which is funny for rep day. So it asked for band press downs, and I don't normally do band press downs, and it looks like I'm having some kind of epileptic seizure right now. But it called for 100 reps of band press downs. And again, this is just his basic suggestion. Obviously going forward, I'm going to implement a lot of different stuff depending on what I feel I need to work on, and that's what the cube's all about. Doing the main lift or an iteration of it, and then doing whatever assistance work you feel necessary. So for this, I just have a resistance band tied to the top of the pull-up bar, and my goal here is to get 100 reps. And again, I'm kind of flying through these as this isn't an overly thick resistance band. But again, doing 100 reps of this, it is very taxing. You'll see in some cases I actually take a little bit of a break just to rest for a second. Again, not a lot of resistance, but if you're not used to these high rep ranges, it definitely starts to burn after a while. So for those of you that decided to watch me do all those band things, I appreciate it. It's really boring. I couldn't even watch it. I had to fast forward. I finished off with 3 sets of dumbbell side laterals. Have a slight bend in the elbow here for this. Not really using a ton of weight either. I did 3 sets of 10. I only filmed 1 because after filming that 100 rep band press downs, I kind of was thinking to myself, no one's going to want to see me do more of this if anyone even made it to this point. So I only filmed 1 set, but that was the workout for today. I also did some high intensity interval training for 11 minutes on the elliptical after this per mark. But that's it. As always, thanks for watching. In the meantime, stay big.